Hey, toss me that bag of nuts, will you?
What are you talking about, man? You're like 80 miles away.
Don't argue physics with me. Just throw me the rootin' tootin' nuts.
Oh, all right, fine. Here.
What kind of throw was that? That was pathetic.
What do you mean? We got the out, didn't we? I mean, you got the nuts, didn't you? Oh, God, my back.
Wow, you look really bad. Are you sure you're going to be able to finish the podcast?
What? Of course. I'm not a quitter. If I leave now, we might actually win this game. I mean, this podcast episode might actually be good. Oh.
This is what happens when we let Ben drink too much.
Oh, just hit it, Bob.
Welcome to Giant Cocktails, where the humor is elite, but the baseball sucks. Oh yeah, here are your hosts, Ben and Matthew Henry.
Welcome to episode 390 of Giant Cocktails. And right after that, Matthew, I had an at-bat with a pathetic swing, and then I could barely walk off the field. But you still got your bag of nuts.
That's all that matters.
That's all that matters. And speaking of boneheads, Matthew, Fred Bonehead Merkle had a .390 slugging percentage during his New York Giants career that spanned from 1907 to 1916. Merkle played 16 seasons in the majors from 1907 when he was 18 years old to 1926 when he was 37. It says here in the notes that I don't know why he was called Bonehead, but that's because you wrote the notes. I know why Merkle was called Bonehead.
I do remember this now that you reminded me. I first read about it in one of those little like books you got at the library about baseball history that your class would go to the library and you were supposed to find a book.
Wait, what? Okay. First of all, I don't understand these words, book and library.
Well, you were in elementary school. Didn't you have to go to the library? You have library day with your class where you had to go to the library and pick out a book?
Yes, Matthew, of course I remember all of those things, but I don't want our younger listeners to think that we're so old that we did things like read books and have libraries.
Okay, well, it is what it is. And I remember picking out a book that was like stories about baseball, and Fred Bonehead Merkle was among those stories.
Matthew, in that book in elementary school, did they call it Merkle's Boner?
I don't think so. I think it was probably named something different for the young readers.
Merkle's Mistake, perhaps.
I think it was like Merkle's Mishap.
Merkle's Mishap. Yeah. Well, that's what I was just going to say. Merkle was called a bonehead because of his boner.
Well, and the problem is that he made it when he was like 18 years old, the mistake.
Oh, yeah.
And so that just followed him for the rest of his career.
Yeah. I mean, the funny thing is, very occasionally you do see this mistake get made at the college level or at the high school level. I don't know that we've seen it in the majors in a while.
Folks, Reader's Digest version of this, which the Reader's Digest was a book that came to your...
Oh, God.
Never mind. Okay, anyway.
We're gonna be here forever. A reader is somebody who looks at these little squiggles... Like, yeah.
What happened was that Fred Merkle was on first base. There was a runner on third. It was the bottom of the ninth, and it was one of the final games against the Cubs. The New York Giants were playing the Cubs for the pennant. Like they were locked neck and neck, and the game-winning hit was hit. The runner on third scored, but Merkle peeled off to head to celebrate with his teammates before touching second base. Fans were already on the field. The Cubs grabbed a ball, not entirely clear that it was the ball. And then they went to second base and stood on it, and the umpire called Merkel out. The run didn't count. The game ended. Or the Cubs ended up winning the game, and then the season ended in a tie, and they had a 1-game tiebreaker, and the Cubs won it. So the Giants lost the pennant because of this bonehead play.
Yeah. First of all, the pennant is like this little flag. They gave it to the team that came in first place, and then you were the champion.
No wild cards. No second place.
No, that's right. That's right. And you got to go play the other team that won their pennant from the upstart American League, unless, you're John McGraw, in which case you say, nah, I don't want to do that. And that's why we have one less World Series title. But anyway, I'm over it. But also...
Enough with the banter. Let's talk cocktails.
But, Bob, they didn't win. They had to play a whole nother game because there's no electricity, Bob. There was no electricity.
They did have to play another game. You were right.
Yeah, there was no stadium lights. Whatever, Bob, hit me.
What are you drinking, Ben?
I don't know. I mean, thank you for asking, Bob. That's very kind of you. And honestly, I don't know what I'm drinking because I just, last week I made something that was based off of a French 75. And then today I was thinking about that and I was like, I just want a French 75. But then, without thinking, I added a different ingredient to it. And now I don't know what it's called. Is it still a French 75 or not? We're going to have to decide at the end of the episode, folks. So put your thinking caps on, and we'll have a vote.
What are you drinking, Matthew?
Bob, I'm drinking a cocktail called Number 3 Cup. And it was just because I had cucumber and I was looking for a cocktail to use my cucumber in. But it's I'll tell you all about it at the end of the episode. Is that you making all that noise over there, pouring your drink?
Yeah, I thought I had my microphone muted, and then it was all just like... Blah, 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 blah. It sounded like, the morning for me. The 5 minutes that I stand there waiting for something to happen. Don't get old, folks. Anyway, today is Wednesday, August 12th, as we record this podcast. Our lovable losers, the San Francisco Giants, went 1-2 this past series against the Houston Astros, named after astronauts, for those of you who don't know. I imagine, I hope that's zero, but today, somebody in my own home asked me, why are they called the Astros? And so anyway, that's why I say kids don't know what a book or a library is, because I don't know what kids do and don't know. And these people aren't kids. There are no kids in my house. Okay, it's all adults here. Anyway, the point is the Giants are 50-71 now.
21 games under 500. Ben, I'm sensing a kind of a, what's that word?
Miserable season?
Well, that too. Yes, that's what I was trying to say. I'm sensing a miserable season. We keep going 1-2 over and over again.
Yeah, it's called a Sisyphean task. But Matthew, here's, one must imagine Sisyphus content or happy. That's called absurdism. You're welcome. Camus. C-A-M-U-S. Philosopher. It basically means you can choose to look at life as if it were good, even if it's not. It's like the opposite of nihilism.
Oh. Yeah, Look who's been to the library now, huh?
Yeah, me. I've a lot. And I actually like to think of myself as an absurdist. I know it doesn't come across on the show, folks. I know. That's why it's absurd. Anyway, where were we? We were playing Matthew, yes, you were going on about something. Continue.
Well, I just noticed this trend that we're going 1-2 for every series. So if we continue that trend for the last 13 series of the year, and if I include the inevitable loss that we're going to have to the Braves on that one game that we have to make up.
And why is it inevitable?
Because if we win it, we would sweep that series.
That is correct, and that
we haven't swept
right?
the series the entire year.
Correct.
So if we do that, though, we will finish 63-98.
Wow, that's 2 games under 100 losses, which I have already said is going to happen. So that means if they continue at this torrid pace, they won't even be as bad as I said they're going to be.
So they have to get even worse to be what you thought they were going to be.
That's right. That's right. And somehow, Matthew, I can see them being worse. Because here's the thing. I really feel like this was a sweep. I feel like the Giants played the better baseball in all three of these games. Like, I really do. I felt like this was a sweep. And I think we said this in the last episode, maybe it was the previous episode, but this is what you got to do. You got to take the positives out and relish them, And we're going to talk about that when we talk about the series later in the show. And then after that, because there is still going to be some time left, and because we have to talk about something, we're going to talk about who should be getting most of the playing time. Now that the Giants have traded away all of their good players and a bunch of their remaining not as good players are all getting hurt. 2 of them now out for the season, right? But I may be jumping ahead of ourselves. So before we do that, then, let's get into the tidbits. It's time for some tidbits. Woo!
Woo! Tidbits!
Woo! Tidbits, like Merkel's tidbit.
I don't even know what that means.
Well, it's like Merkel's boner, Merkel's tidbit.
Okay.
They're both words that mean other things. But
Got it.
Else.
Would you like me to lead off with the next tidbit?
I would like you to lead off with the next tidbit, since this is your guy. He came via the way that is apparently your favorite way for a player to become a Giant.
Well, catcher at the least. Yeah.
And also, you were the one who keeps printing out that roster. How'd that go, by the way?
Yeah, I stopped that like 2 months ago.
Yeah, I figured, because right now you would have run out of ink.
Right now, the one in front of me has Matt Gage, Caleb Killian, Eric Miller, and Ryan Walker in the bullpen. So it's been a while.
It's been a while.
Daniel Suzak's season is done. Hit a ball off his kneecap and broke it.
That sucks, dude. Like, ugh.
Yeah. I will say, though, that it was good timing in the fact that he has spent 94 days in the big leagues. And I did not know this, but a Rule 5 draftee has to accomplish 2 things. Yes, they have to stay on the major league roster the entire year, or else they have to be offered back to the team they were drafted from.
Yes, I am familiar.
But
if they send him to Sacramento, he has to go to Sacramento.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But the other kicker is that he has to be active on the major league team for at least 90 days. So he hasn't played that many days in the season. It added up to 94, however. So he just met the threshold. So next year, when the season starts, he will not have the Rule 5 designation anymore. Ooh. If he had been let's say he had finished at 80 days, it's not as bad as you think. He doesn't have to spend the whole next season as a Rule 5 designee. He only has to finish those 90 days. And so it would have been the first 10 days of next year, whenever that is, then he would be eligible then his Rule 5 designation would be removed. So it's just, now he goes into the end of the season. He is officially a Giant, will not have to be offered back to the Vagabonds. And yay. That's the only good thing that happened out of this.
Okay. Well, so I was going to say this is a good thing because it means, boom, it locks him in, because they could have still sent him down, right? But now, because he's hurt, but then you almost took it away from me because you're like, no, I didn't play enough. But he's played 4 days. He's been there 4 days long enough.
Yes.
And so it's all good. It's all fine. It's all fine. It's all fine. Okay. And you said that was the only good thing that came of this, but I beg to differ, because the next tidbit says, well, somebody gets hurt.
Somebody's got to take his place.
Him. Yeah. And they called up some dude. There was a young man, or maybe he was not so young. I don't know. There was a name I had never heard before, Matthew, who was on the 40-man, and he was in San Francisco.
Yeah.
But he's not the man anymore, is he?
I don't think he was even on the 40-man. I think they had to get him on the 40-man just for the 3 days that he was. And don't ask me his name. I can't remember now. But and I'm looking it up. Zach Morgan. That's who it was.
Yes, Zach Morgan.
Good old Zach. But Zach got DFA, or not DFA. He got sent back to AAA. And the Giants signed our old friend Andrew Knizner.
Matthew, it's
Yes.
Andrew Knizner. Put some respect on my favorite player's name.
Your favorite player has had a little bit of a journey since the Giants released him in November.
He was
of
my
2026.
sorry. He was my favorite player on the Giants. He was my favorite Giant after Camilo left. Okay. So like when he's not a Giant, he doesn't matter to me. Okay, but now he's a Giant again, so he goes back to being. Bryce Eldridge has to move to the side. Go get some seasoning, kid. Because Daddy's home. Wait, what?
Well, Daddy's had a little bit of a journey. The Giants released him in November. He signed with the Mariners in December, spent all of spring training with them, only to get released right before the season started.
Yep.
The Rockies signed him to a minor league contract a few days later. And then at one point he got injured, so they placed him on the IL on April 22nd. He was activated on May 13th, and then the Rockies released him on June 18th. Then the Red Sox signed him to a minor league contract 5 days later on June 23rd and assigned him to their minor league AAA team, Worcester. And then
Worcester.
Worcester.
It's Worcester.
Worcester.
It's, no, it's Worcester.
Worcester.
Worcester. Let's keep doing that.
Anyway,
Rest of the episode.
they released him from that
Worcester.
team on
God, you're no fun.
August 7th. They signed him on June 23rd. They released him on August 7th, just as the Giants needed a catcher. And so the Giants signed him on August 11th and immediately added him to the major league roster. So the only major league team that he has played for during that span was the Giants at the end of last season. So the life of a journeyman catcher, Ben.
Whatever, Daddy's home. Okay. All right. And then, yeah. Hey, Matthew, there was also Victor Berrycotto is back. He could have been my favorite Giant for a while, but he came back just at the wrong time. And he's oh no, say it isn't so.
Yeah, Eddie's Leonard was DFA'd.
Eddie's Leonard gone. We hardly knew ye, Eddie.
We hardly knew you. You know, like all-time Giant great. You know,
forever Giant. Eddie's
forever
Leonard.
Giant Eddie's Leonard was DFA'd and had some great moments.
Yeah, I don't like. You got a hit.
Yeah, well, you know, that's his parents flew in. He got the hit.
That's his major league. His first one, right?
I think so. Yeah.
Yeah. So anyway, and it took him 1 billion years to get there, and he was there for about 8 days.
Yeah. He's got one more hit than Moonlight Graham. So
That's right. It's true. Both of them major leaguers, though, which is more than I can say. Okay. So, but here's the thing: he got DFA'd. He's probably going to get outrighted because somebody has to claim him for the Giants to lose him.
yeah. I'm mistaken. He had 2 more hits than Moonlight Graham. So
okay.
Sorry,
Well, there you go. That's 2 hits that the Giants wouldn't have had otherwise.
yeah. I mean, it's fun rooting for those little underdogs, especially with the season we've had, right?
Right.
So I was a little sad to see him go, but he's just part of the churn, man. Just part of the churn.
Yeah, this is the way it's going to be the rest of the season.
Exactly. Don't get attached to any of these names, folks.
Or even worry about remembering them. I mean, I know that sounds harsh, but
I did see people on Giants social media, though, that were genuinely disappointed that Eddie's Leonard was DFA'd. And I'm like, nobody will remember him in, a year. So
genuinely disappointed?
Get excited about the new guy. It's just the way it is.
Yeah, I guess. Okay. All right. Oh, last tidbit, Matthew, because this show, we usually like to go 45 minutes to an hour, and that's getting harder and harder. Although, don't tell Drunk Ben that, because that man can talk.
Boy, howdy.
And I'm only halfway through this, nameless cocktail that we're going to name later. A French 75, I guess, is what we're calling it for now. But so we got to talk about the Women's Professional Baseball League, Matthew, because there's been happenings.
There's been drama in the Women's Professional Baseball League.
There has been drama. Matthew, one of these baseball teams. Okay, well, so look, first of all, The LA team, the LA Queens, has the best ERA in the league, and I think that ERA is like 5.8. Okay. The San Francisco Firebells have the second best ERA, which is 6.62. So, that just tells you what kind of league this is in the pitching. But despite all of that, the Boston Hunters, their ERA is in the 9s. And as a consequence of perhaps that, and perhaps of sucking overall, they fired their manager. After they're like 1-4 or 1-3, they fired their manager already, Matthew. And we know the guy. I mean, not personally, not you and me, but all San Francisco Giants. Well, okay, those of you who are like under the age of 30 don't know this guy. Because way back in 1997, he made his major league debut with the San Francisco Giants. It was none other than Keith Foulke, Matthew.
Keith Foulke, who pitched like half a season for the Giants before he was traded at the 97 deadline because the Giants were in the middle of a pennant race.
That's right.
And they brought in some reinforcements from the White Sox, including Danny Darwin and Wilson Alvarez and Roberto Hernandez. And then the Giants sent a bunch of guys back.
Five guys. Roberto Hernandez was going to be the closer. Wilson Alvarez was like the big piece of that trade. He was the starter. I remember this trade. So bizarre, the things that you remember. And I remember Keith Foulke being one of those guys. I remember watching Keith Foulke warm up in the outfield, just the same way that I remember Joe Nathan warming up in the Giants outfield.
If Ben remembers you warming up in the outfield, you are doomed.
Yeah, well, doomed to be traded.
Yes.
Keith Foulke eventually became the closer for the Red Sox and then made it all the way to being a manager of the Boston Hunters. Old Boston hero Keith Foulke managing the Boston Hunters. He says he got fired because he was he was like commuting from
Arizona.
Home. So he was just flying in for the games, I guess. And he says that he told them they were going to do that, and they were like, yeah, that's not working for us. I mean, Keith, you might be right. But methinks that perhaps you should be there for the practices too, my man, especially considering you know how to pitch, and the Boston Hunters do not. But whatevs. Meanwhile, let's check in on the Firebells. Ooh, they're 3-2, Matthew, and they played their first game against Los Angeles. Do you know what they did?
They better have beaten them.
No, Matthew, they got their butts kicked. They lost 12-3.
God damn it!
Matt Williams. Well, actually, I think Matt Williams decided that was not acceptable because they've played them twice since then and won both of those games.
Oh, okay. So Matt Williams reminded them that their biggest job was to beat LA.
That's right. You got to beat LA. That's the rule. And so they've done so. And now the run differential between the two teams when they're playing each other is just 1 run. Unfortunately, it's still -1 Firebells if I'm doing my math correctly. And there's a good chance
2 in the win column. So, okay, I'll take
That's right. 2 in the win column. Yeah. So there you go. And by the way, the Firebells are batting .356, which is actually third best in the league of 4. But that's okay because their ERA is 6.62, which, yes, sounds, I don't know, like the San Francisco Giants level. So it's not that bad. Or no, it's pretty bad. But in this league, it's second best. So there you go. That's the Firebells. I still haven't seen any highlights of their play, and I still haven't seen a legitimate box score because the box scores that they display on their website are not actual box scores. I mean, I'm sure the person who created them thinks they are, but they are not. All right, Matthew, that's it for tidbits. It's time for us to talk about the Astros series. Matthew, can you believe that Jose Altuve is still playing baseball? That man is shorter than me, and he's still out there doing it. I can't even throw a bag of nuts.
I'm sure he's figured out another way to cheat. Just a way to,
Okay, you're implying that he had the doodad in the garbage can.
And he had the
for his entire career
or whatever in his shirt or whatever.
Yeah, that's what the doodad, the buzzer, whatever.
Yeah.
The vibrator. He was wearing the vibrator. He was wearing the vibrator his entire career. Is that what you're saying, Matthew?
I'm just saying that, when you get long in the tooth, you'll find any way to keep going, right, Barry Bonds? You just...
Oh, wow. Too close to... okay, moving on. Moving on. Okay, Matthew, there's a couple of things. Okay, so here's my major takeaway from this series. I thought the Giants played 3 mostly good baseball games. Like except for Dylan Smith. And of course, yes, the overall lack of offense. I get it. Okay, yes. Okay, Matthew. Future Matthew, stop yelling at me about the bad offense. Okay? Can you just stop?
Okay, all right. We'll stop.
Okay, thank you.
But I'm right.
Yes, of course you're right. If they had scored more runs, they would have won the baseball game.
Hard to win games when you're only scoring 1 run.
Yeah, man. Grass is green and blueberries are purple. Anyway, I felt like the Giants really played every game good enough to win, right? Except for Dylan Smith. And then Willy Adames and Oslevis Basabe, both, having their own sort of little mishaps on defense. The Giants sweep this series. I think this is a wild pitch and one dropped pop-up away from being a sweep by the Giants. And I don't know, and I think we have to say that was a pretty good series.
So moral victories are what we're counting now, huh?
Yeah. Yeah. We have to ignore the horrible, stupid mistakes that cost us the games and just be proud of the fact that our boys fought. We fought hard. We played good baseball, and then we lost and went and had pizza anyway.
I am inclined to agree with you just because, like 2/3 of the team is the Sacramento River Cats. And so I feel like anytime we put up a fight, it just feels like a moral victory.
That's right. And I thought, hey, they didn't get blown out. They didn't make stupid mistakes every single inning. It was just 1/2 inning each game.
Well, and I think every series from here on out is basically a tryout for next season, right? And it's something that you just want to see, like, what are these guys doing? So in some respects, the starting pitching, for example, folks, we saw 3/5 of next year's starting rotation and they all pitched fairly well.
I mean, Blake Tidwell was very good.
Yeah.
Right? In a game that he deserved to win.
Yes.
I totally agree with that. Sticking in that first game, though, I think the MVP of the series, or at least of that game, was another guy who, might have been on the team because of cronyism, right? Was Drew Gilbert. But man, that guy tried really, really hard to win that game all by himself. And as you told me via text message, the only problem with that is Drew Gilbert doesn't pitch. Because he should have been closing the game. He should have been on the mound to close out that win. Although then he wouldn't have caught some of those balls that he caught. But then those balls wouldn't have gotten hit as hard as they did. My point is, Drew Gilbert played out of his mind in that game. Not just on offense, right? Yeah, he had the home run. But man, he was just tracking down crazy fly balls. I just wanted to shout out Drew, even though he was only 2 for 9 for the series. The guy had a really, really good series. And, I think last year it was kind of like, oh, look at Drew Gilbert. It was like Bob, he's there. He doesn't really add a lot of actual to the podcast. But he's funny. He says funny things. He does weird stuff. And you're like, oh, we love him. He's like a mascot more than he is a contributor to the show. I'm sorry. I didn't mean it. It's just a bit. I'm just doing it for the show.
I don't get paid enough for this.
Why? That's your... Can you say something? Okay. No, that's funny. Yeah. But no, that was what Drew was. But now, no, Drew is a legitimate major league outfielder.
Yeah, and I think that's a good point as far as that 2 for 9 on the series. But he also drew some key walks, got on base. His defense was excellent. The hits that he did get were, home run, key hits. So those are the kind of players that it's going to be really important to follow over the last part of the season, because next season we need to know, like, are these guys going to be part of the solution or not?
Correct. All right. And so adding on to that, one of the guys that you said will be part of our starting rotation, who had a couple of bad starts in a row, made his start in game 2 and started from where he had left off in the previous 2 games, which is to say, not good.
Yeah. I mean, 55 pitches after the first 2 innings. And I was like, oh my gosh, this is, and based on how bad our bullpen is right now, I was just like, this is going to be a disaster. They're going to have to pull him after like 2.5, 3 innings. And, the Giants are screwed. So kudos to him for like all of a sudden turning it around.
Yeah. You know what he looked like to me after those 2 innings?
What?
He looked like a little
beach ball.
That's right. You heard me. He looked like a little
beach ball.
Exactly.
Well, it's funny you say that, because Eldridge, after the game, was interviewed, and they, of course, asked him what his impression was around Wisenhunt's outing. And he said, he goes, before the game, Wisenhunt approached me and said, how about we stop playing like little
beach ball?
And they did. Eldridge hit the home run. Carson Wisenhunt shoved. And that's the kind of play that we need to see from some of those younger guys. And Wisenhunt, he had 2 bad outings. And then coming into this one, he's auditioning for next year. And it was really great to see him turn it around. So
yeah. And what was really nice to see him turn it around was he did it with his fastball. Like he really was able to start placing it. He had a little bit more control with it. It was really kind of interesting to me because they were talking about how his velocity was down, and I was like, oh no, right? This just sounds awful, right? Like his velocity's down. It's either he's got a tired arm or he's hurt. But maybe the idea was, let's not throw that fastball quite as hard, because
let's be more accurate with your fastball,
right? And maybe that just didn't translate in the first 2 innings, and then he finally found it. Right? So maybe that's what we're seeing, is a little bit more experimentation and trying different things, which they can afford to do because these games don't matter. Right? It matters more that Carson Wisenhunt develop himself than the Giants desperately win this game. And then, yes, of course, my man, the Eldritch Knight, my former favorite Giant and soon to be favorite Giant once again after they DFA Andrew, hit the home run. That was just overall, it felt like a really good game. And they got really good outings from Kavanaugh. And then, of course, Tony Vitello's least favorite player, Christian Koss, who continues to play good baseball despite Tony Vitello, which leads us to game 3, wherein, Matthew, there's this new guy who's pitching for the Giants. Started his game. His name is Hauser D's. Wow, look, I'm finally good. For how long, though? Look over there. It's a big bottle of rum, and he runs away.
Wow. His name is Hauser D's. Wow, look, I'm finally good. For how long, though? Look over there. It's a bottle of rum, and he runs away?
It's a big bottle of rum.
Big bottle of rum. I stand corrected.
Yeah. I mean, it's a long name, so it gets a little confusing. Yeah, I don't know where this guy's been, but boy, he pitched pretty well. I wish he could have stayed in the whole game, although he wouldn't have played defense.
Or offense.
No, that's true. Yeah, that's true. No, I mean, because there was a lot of conjecture. Like, was he going to have an opener again?
I was thinking about that last game when he had the opener. So traditionally, when you have an opener, you start the opener is pitching from the opposite side that you are, right? Because then it forces the team to make a decision on how they're going to set their lineup. The Giants didn't do that. They put a right-hander in to open for Hauser, who's a right-hander. So JT Brubaker opened up that game. And I'm thinking, like, that's kind of a slap in the face. I just think it's funny that now they're like, okay, we'll let you start. Because
what they were saying is that we don't want the offense to get a chance to build our lineup around you and then use it against you right off the bat. We think this right-hander is better against their best hitters than you.
That's what they were saying. Yes. Maybe they weren't wrong.
Yeah. It's hard to say that they aren't wrong. Like, JT Brubaker, without a doubt, has had a better season than most Giants pitchers, especially Hauser D's. Wow, look, I'm finally good. For how long, though? Look over there. It's a big bottle of rum, and he runs away. So, I don't think this is necessarily wrong. But anyway.
Yeah, well, I just want to remind you that how's there these wow, look, I'm finally good for how long, though? Look over there. It's a big bottle of rum and he runs away is signed for next year, too. So expect him to be in the battle for a rotation spot.
Which was important for why it was good for him to have a good start and a good outing. Yes, and we're going to continue to see him. Correct. One other thing I do want to point out about the pitching staff is that Reiver Sanmartin blazed through Yordan Alvarez like a hot butter through knife. Yeah, like a hot butter through knife, Matthew.
Well, it was impressive. He did run the count full, and I was a little nervous that was he going to have to come in on him, and then he threw this like diving fastball on the inside that wasn't even a strike.
He threw him some filthy hot butter is what he did.
He did.
Yordan swung his knife and did absolutely nothing. Like, this analogy works. Yeah. Okay. So, but there are a couple other things I want to point out from that game. First of all, one of them is good. Okay. I want to talk about the double play where Christian Koss helped make that rundown and then just ran to second base and got the second out of that. Just what the Astros radio play-by-play guy called brutally bad base running. And then he just said, absolutely brutal. And then they went to commercial.
I was surprised that Adames actually, fielded the ball to start the whole thing. And then it did have the presence of mind to say, oh, the guy in front of me is running to third. I will throw over there.
I think that was dumb effing luck for the Giants. Because I think that play or some previous play is when Adames's back went out. By the way, that's what we were referencing in the opening, in case you didn't know, listener. Adames's back has been a problem all season. If you listen to Giants talk, you might have heard Alex Pavlovich conjecture that this is why maybe his defensive numbers have been poor all season. Basically, Willy Adames has had a bad back all year. But he's a gamer. He's a man. His balls are bigger than his brain. He's not going to come out of the game, even if it means he might hurt the team and himself and benefit no one. He's going to stay in. And that's what he did. The problem was he couldn't throw the baseball. So he was able to lob the ball to Koss at third, who then got into the rundown with Basabe. And then threw the ball to Basabe. Basabe tagged the guy out, turned around, and threw the ball back to Christian Koss, who was at second base, and he tagged out the other guy who was making a brutally stupid base running play. What I do love mostly about that is the guy, I think his name was Allen, who was on second and made the initial stupid mistake.
Mm-hmm.
He was the one who threw the gasoline onto the fire.
Yeah, he was the one that waved the guy over. He's like, I'm going to get in this rundown long enough for you to get to second base. And then he totally didn't get in the rundown long enough.
No. He was like, I'm faster than this guy. What's his name? Slovies? No. That is not what happened. So anyway, I really did enjoy that play. Unfortunately, somewhere before that play or on that play, Willy made a mistake. And he ended up, I don't know what happened, but there was a play later in the game where it was very clear that he couldn't throw the ball, right? Like, he couldn't throw the ball
Well, it was
anymore.
a double play ball, and he just, soft tossed it to second base, which cost them the double play.
I was listening to the radio, and apparently they measure just, thrown balls. They measure the velocity of those. They're, measuring everything on the field constantly. And they knew in the radio booth the StatCast numbers behind the throw that he threw to second base to Basabe. 39 miles an hour.
Wow.
That was the lob, and that's why they couldn't turn the double play, was because Adames threw 39 miles an hour. And then, after that, the trainer comes out onto the field. Adames walks away from him. I don't even want to talk to you, because I'm fine. But clearly not fine. He stays in the game, and then he has an at-bat, which is awful. And then after he tries to run, it's very clear the man can barely walk. This is the kind of stuff that I was talking about when I said, what do I want to see in the rest of this season? I want to see Vitello not be a complete and total moron. Like, Adames is being an idiot if he's the kind of player who's too macho to come out of the game because he's hurt, which is just dumb. That is not good baseball. Okay? Yes, sometimes you're hurt, but you can still perform to the point where you can help your team. But when you get injured in a game, you don't know that. And you're going to hurt your team by playing poorly, which he did. He cost them a run. You could say they lost the game because of Adames doing that. Also, he could make his own injury worse, thereby hurting the team even more and himself. It's just dumb on top of dumb. And Tony Vitello has to be the guy who says, I'm not going to let that happen.
Absolutely. Yeah, it was the Matt Chapman thing all over again, right? I mean, clearly he's hurt. Clearly the trainer is running out to check on him. Clearly he's hurt. That's it. You say, you know what? You're done. We're going to finish the game with Buddy Kennedy. You know,
that's right.
That's what you have to do. And Tony Vitello still doesn't have the ganas to make those decisions.
Yeah. Anyway. Okay. All right. Well, so that was the Astros series. All in all, a pretty good series. It felt like it was a sweep in my heart, Matthew.
Okay. All right.
Let's start another streak of sweeps like we had earlier in the season. You remember when we had like 5 sweeps in a row?
No, I don't remember.
Yeah, no. It included that Braves series where we didn't play all the games. Because that was a sweep because we won those 2 games. Anyway, Matthew, in the closing moments of our show, okay, I'm looking at this list of names that you wrote down, and I'm just like, I don't even know who these guys are. And you I literally looking at the line here. You get to cross one out mid-show because you're like, oh wait, I said he got DFA'd, and now I have his name down here.
I wrote these notes a couple days ago, and they're already old. But I got to thinking, Ben, for this segment, we got to make the case for some of these guys, why they should get more playing time. As I was writing these names down, I also realized that simultaneously we are making the case for how poor our team is, how bad our team is. Because if these are our options, and we're talking about this as far as these guys should get more playing time, we're not talking about guys that are going to be I don't know, in the upper half of the league average next year. I mean, I don't know. It's just we should just start talking about it and the listeners will understand. Ben, outfield playing time. I'm going to list you some names. You tell me who should be the most playing time. Okay.
Okay.
Grant McCray, Drew Gilbert, Victor Bericotto, and Jonah Cox, who is currently hitting over 500 in AAA.
Oh, don't do that. Don't do that. Don't give me that. Don't give me that. This is like the time that former Santa Banana hit 2 home runs in February. Okay, that doesn't matter. Nobody cares. You know what? And you're just trying to make
But are you saying, though, that any of these other guys are doing that much better that Jonah Cox shouldn't be getting an opportunity? Grant McCray is just tearing it up?
He's trying to make me cry. No, I mean, honestly, God, I don't know.
Because we know Jung-Hoo Lee's in right. Then you got to have somebody in center. So that's Grant McCray or Drew Gilbert.
Or Jonah Cox.
You got Victor in left, Victor Bericotto, but you could move somebody over there. Who should be the one that gets the most playing time as we finish out this season? Who are the ones?
Oh boy. I mean, I feel like this is tough. I feel like they should go to Gilbert just so that he gets more at bats. I'm going to say Gilbert and Bericotto and Jung-Hoo Lee.
Okay.
One to keep Jung-Hoo Lee playing every day. He's got to play every day. He's got to play all the time.
He's got to play. Yeah.
I think that Gilbert and Bericotto have the higher ceilings, and that's why.
Okay.
Those are my picks.
I'm not going to disagree with you. I think, though, as far as that 5th outfielder spot, though, or 4th, I guess in this case, would be, I would rather see Jonah Cox than Grant McCray at this point.
I understand that. Yeah, I understand that. I think in terms of playing time, I think I'd rather see Gilbert and Barry Cotto out there as much as possible. If you want to do a little bit of platooning, but honestly, I don't want to see that either. I would rather see Drew Gilbert play every single day against everybody than see you platoon him. Well, give him the chance.
Sure. Okay. All right. Do you know what this reminds me of, though, this exercise?
What?
You know when you have a bunch of bananas and you're trying to find the one with the least amount of bruises to eat?
Or when your ship is sinking and you're moving the deck chairs?
Yes, something like that.
Right. Yeah. Yeah, because those are the same.
Okay. Infield playing time. Okay. Now we've got Oslavis Basabe.
Oh yeah, we need to go move the chairs in the dining room.
Yes, exactly. Nate Furman, and you teased me about forgetting about him, and when I was writing these down, I almost forgot about him. Like I had to admit that. I just almost forgot.
On the major league team? No.
I don't even know. I don't know what happened to Nate Furman. He's got to be. I think he's still on the team. I'm gonna check right now, though.
God, how is this possible? What is happening?
Infielders are, yes, Nate Furman is still on the team. He is the new Christian Koss. We will not see him.
At least he deserves it. God.
And then Buddy Kennedy. So which one of these guys do you think we need to see a lot of?
Basabe. And then Koss. I like how you have almost forgot about him and LOL next to the other two guys' names.
Buddy Kennedy, man. That's just like, I did. I was like, okay, I'm going to put his name on there. Ha, ha, ha. LOL.
Did you say Robert Kennedy? What? Doesn't he have a brain worm? Like, what is happening here? I feel like I have a brain worm. Oh my God. This is a nightmare. Why did we make this segment? You're trying to make me cry.
You're trying to keep the streak going, that's for sure. All right, here's the one that's going to kick it then, okay? Pitchers.
Yeah, let's do it.
All right. So there are relievers in the AAA team in Sacramento that are on the 40-man. And I want to know which one of these do you think deserves an opportunity at the major league level?
Okay.
They are recently acquired Anthony Molina, who we got for what's his name? See, I've already forgotten the pitcher that the Padres should have traded for.
Tyler
Malley. Thank you. Yes. Tristan Beck, Spencer Bivens, and Ryan Walker.
Spivens.
I'm not sure why Spencer Bivens hasn't been given more timing.
Because it's the Christian Koss effect.
Maybe his numbers in AAA, or maybe there's underlying numbers that they're worried about. But every time he's been up, I mean, him and Ryan Walker were the only two relievers that were on the roster the entire season last year. And now they're both in AAA. I feel like I don't know. I mean, Ryan Walker has been given a lot of rope and he hung himself with it. But I think Spencer Bivens, I think maybe he deserves another chance.
I mean, yes. Like, I agree. Like, I think it should be Bivens. I think he has the one who has performed the best when he's at the major league level. I mean, I get it. Like, you can't ignore what's happening in AAA. And I think that's what's held back a lot of these guys. Like, they didn't have good seasons, like, when they went down to AAA. I think that's what happened to Koss. So, it's difficult to say that, oh, you should just call him up because he's always been successful in the majors. On the other hand, maybe you should call him up because he's always been successful in the majors, right? This is what the deal was with McDonald. It was the same thing with him. You know?
He'd get a spot starts, do well, and then they throw him back
and then you throw him back to AAA, and he would not be so great down there. And, I don't know, but then in that case, they should be looking at the underlying numbers.
Agreed.
But I don't think the Giants are an underlying numbers kind of an organization.
Well, no, they're not.
Because I don't think they're that smart.
I do want to talk about the starters, though. So the AAA starters that are on the 40-man are...
Walker Buehler?
Well, he's not on our team.
No, I was just doing it for the bit.
There is no AAA starters that are on the 40-man.
Yeah, I was going to say.
They're all up now.
I was going to say, that. Why are you talking about the starters? I thought we had them all. And you were.
We do.
Yes, you were right. I figured it out.
And that's kind of my point.
Okay.
You know, that don't count on there being any more guys that are coming up from AAA to make starts. Or this is it. We got them all up here now. They're all there.
Right. I mean, if they do come up, it's going to be because of injury. Right.
Yeah, they're gonna have to make some little 60-man maneuvering, but or 40-man maneuvering, 60-day IL maneuvering. All this exercise was just to illustrate how pathetic the depth of our major league roster is. And yes, the future may be bright down the road. We've got the number 4 farm system now, according to one of the big publications.
That's because of all of our 17-year-olds.
Exactly. And they're all playing well. So that helps, right? They're all playing well. And so you hope that keeps up. But for the time being, oh man, I'm kind of praying for a lockout at this point.
Yeah, well, 17-year-olds are 6 years away if they debut, if you consider that, if you call them 18 and they debut when they're 24.
Ben, they're 4 years away if you get your way.
That's right. That's right. Yeah. Wow. Okay. You know what, Matthew? I'm not gonna. Damn it. God damn it. Why are you so mean? You just make me cry. You give me noogies. And you do that thing with your fingers and you hit it into my sternum and it hurts so much. And then you make fun of me for crying.
Oh, Ben, it's been like, how old am I? It's been at least like 40 years, 35 years maybe since I've done the...
That damage never goes away. You know how much money I just spent on therapy? Anyway, our upcoming opponent, Matthew, is the Colorado Rockies. It gets worse. It's a battle for last place. And I don't know how many times we can hold these guys off, Matthew.
We keep trying to give them the opportunity, and they refuse to take it.
I know. I agree. You know, and look, we got Landon Roop, who is good for at least 3 or 4 good innings, hopefully all of them in a row.
Don't count on that. Yes.
No, I know. Like sometimes that inning where he throws nothing but balls happens in the 3rd inning. And he's against Kyle Freeland. Logan Webb versus Michael Lorenzen. And then Blade Tidwell against Gabriel Hughes. Matthew, I'm going to call it. That's the game we're winning.
Oh, okay. All right. Well, yeah, true. 1 out of 3. Okay. I'm going with our boy Logan Webb. I know the Giants won't score any runs for him, but he'll find a way.
Yeah, this is what I'm talking about. I'm not saying it's going to be Logan Webb's fault. I'm just saying the August 16th game is the game the Giants will win.
Okay.
And yes.
Okay. I'm not arguing with you. I think, that's just as plausible.
Yeah. Emphasis on the.
Isn't it time for the booze, boys?
Yes, Bob, it is. Hit me.
What are you drinking, Ben?
Bob, I'm drinking a cocktail that I'm calling a French 75. But here's the problem, Bob. I used 2 ounces of gin, 1 ounce of lemon juice, 3/4 of an ounce of simple syrup. Then I added 2 dashes of Angostura Bitters like I was making a Fitzgerald. I put that into a shaker with ice. I shook it all up, and then I double strained it into a champagne flute, and I put bubbles on top of it, a.k.a. sparkling wine. I don't know. Is that a French 75 or is that like a Fitzgerald 75? I don't know what this is, Matthew. I made a mistake. I was like,
If you'd used Peychaud's, you could still call it a French 75, but the Angostura wasn't French.
I'd call it a Cajun 75. Oh, you know what?
But they would have the Cajun 75. That would have been cognac and not gin.
Well, really?
Really?
Oh, okay. Well. All right, well, folks, I'm calling it, fine. Then we're calling it an Angostura 75. No, we're calling it a Bitter 75.
Oh, I like that. Bitter 75.
Bitter 75.
Because
that's what I'm
this
drinking.
is a season that we're all feeling bitter.
Exactly, and it feels like it's 75 years long. And that's what I'm drinking today, Bob, Bitter 75.
That's a tasty cocktail.
It was really good. I enjoyed it.
What are you drinking, Matthew?
Bob, I had a cucumber that I needed to use. So I started looking for cocktails.
TMI, dude. This is a family show.
Cucumber that you put in your salads. How is that not family?
I don't. You know what? I mean, next thing you know,
That's your mine, not mine. Okay, don't drag me into your dirty.
You're the one who put the boner at the top of the show.
Bonehead, you're the one that turned it into a boner.
He's called Bonehead because he made a boner.
Anyway, I am drinking a cocktail called Number 3 Cup. It's got 1 ounce of cognac or brandy, 3/4 ounces of sweet vermouth. I'm using, I think, Coqui de Torino, 1/2 ounce of orange curacao, 1/2 ounce of lemon juice, 4 mint leaves, 2 sliced cucumbers, 2 slices of orange, and some ginger beer. You're first going to muddle the fruit and mint in the shaker, but not too hard, just enough to maybe get some juices from the orange and just lightly muddle the mint. Don't pulverize it. Then you're going to add all the other ingredients except the ginger beer, add ice, and then you're going to give it a good shake until well chilled. Strain it into a Collins glass with fresh ice, and then you're going to add your ginger beer. Give it a slight stir to incorporate. You're going to garnish it with a mint sprig or a cucumber or an orange slice or pretty much anything that you want. And that's what I'm drinking. It is a very refreshing, fruity drink. So that's what I'm drinking, Bob. Number 3 Cup.
That's a tasty cocktail.
It really is. Ben is showing me a cat toy with a sword through its nose.
It was a party favor made by my nephew at his birthday party. They gave everybody stuffed rats and with scabbards and swords.
As one does. Anyway, that's a wrap, folks. Thank you for joining us. We'll be back on Monday with more Giants content. Don't forget, if you can't wait that long to get your fix, feel free to reach out to us on the socials where we go by the name Giant Cocktails. But more importantly, please be sure to leave us a positive review, 5-star review at your podcasting platform of choice, aka Apple Podcasts or Spotify. Ben, it was great talking Giants with you. Until next time, cheers, my friend.
Cheers, Matthew. Bye, everybody.
Goodbye. How's your D's? Wow, look, I'm finally good for how long, though? Look over there. It's a big bottle of rum, and he runs away.
Thanks for listening to the Giant Cocktails Podcast. The next round's on me.
Got to take a big breath when you say his name.
Yeah, you do. He's got a long name, that guy. I hope we see more of him.
Eddie's Leonard. We hardly knew you.
Leonard.
Is that what I said? I thought I said that.
You said Leonard.
Oh, Leonard. Sorry. Leonard.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Put some respect on that man's name.
That's right.
Got his first 2 major league hits with the Giants.
Yeah.
Now he's floating in the somebody will maybe pick him up world. So when you're designated for assignment, where do you go? Do you just go sit in purgatory?
Yes.
Where do you go?
You can't go anywhere near the team. It's like being locked out. It's like a week-long lockout, but it's only for you.
And then if nobody claims you, then they're like, okay, we'll take you back. And then you're like, well, my feelings are butthurt, so I don't know if I want to come back. But then you're like, well, I want a job, so okay, I'll come back.
No, it depends on your service time, or how many times it's happened to you. I think you can be outrighted only once in your career. I'm not really entirely sure, but you don't necessarily have the choice. You may not have the choice, and then you just have to take the assignment. I mean, you can quit baseball. Like, that's always allowed.
So you can't, like, if nobody claims you and you're outrighted.
You can elect free agency, but only if you are qualified.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. But he's been DFA'd so many times, he's got to be qualified.
I have no idea how it works. I have no idea what his status is. You call yourself an expert. But he might be able to. Yeah.
All right. Well, I hope wherever he lands that it's the best for him.
I mean, maybe he should go to Savannah.
Oh. That's not a bad landing spot.
No, you're playing baseball professionally.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Can he do backflips? Can he dance?
I'm thinking he could. He seems like a pretty athletic guy.
Yeah, So yeah.
Maybe he could sing.
Ooh, do they have any singers?
I think they do.
Or they probably do. I mean, they have a guy on stilts.
Subscribe now while you're still drunk